what do you want to do? Where do you want to go from here? What are, what are your ambitions? What would you want to do in acting?
I want to be a movie star.
And action.
Reverse that. Open the HMI.
The story's about a little girl and her dad's in the Vietnam War. And all she wants for Christmas is for her dad to come home. And so her dad calls up pretending to be Santa Claus.
I wrote Father Christmas as a semi-autobiographical piece before I got into AFI's directing workshop for women. I pretty much lived through that era. My dad had to serve his tour in Vietnam. And I remember that very vividly. I was about a little younger, actually, than Dakota. Not by much, though. One of the most perfect pieces of serendipity on the show occurred when we cast Dakota Fanning as Clary. She was just perfect from the word go. She walked into auditions and immediately stood out. She was so unlike any other child actor I've ever worked with or seen before. We didn't know anybody else in the cast and crew until after we had hired them. And ultimately, on the set, the crew and cast became sort of a little family, very close and warm. We ended up having a lot of luck, a lot of fateful pieces of luck.
People have been donating to this project like crazy. The guy who owns this working stage just happens to be a Vietnam vet who loves AFI. Serendipity. And basically, this is where Air Force One shot, it's where Jag shot, and he's giving it to us today for free.
Everything from finding a house and location that perfectly fit the era, to catering for the crew, because you've got to feed your crew. Especially a volunteer crew, as my dad used to say, an army travels on its stomach. We needed the sustenance because we worked them hard in about 108-degree heat outside and indoors where you couldn't run the air for the sound.
We have some excellent crew that is kicking butt. It's very, very hot, but we're getting some good footage. Marie's very happy with what we're getting. So Dakota's getting a little tired. She's getting overheated, but we're taking a lot of breaks and she's getting plenty of water. So I think it will work out very well. Tell me about your brother. I mean, what does he do during this movie to you?
He's a very, very bully. He plays tricks on me.
These kids and their dad is in Vietnam, and they're sitting at home one day, and we're just watching TV, and I'm kind of like a mean older brother, and then I like rudely tell my little sister where Daddy is, kind of like pretty mean about it to her.
Tell me what's like working with Dakota. What is she like?
Dakota? Oh well, she's really nice and cute and everything. She big talker. She likes to talk.
We knew she was going to be a star. Everyone was saying so on the set. We knew she was just amazing. Light years ahead above other kids. Just light years ahead. We couldn't believe it.
How did you become an actress?
Well, I've been doing print for a year, and I just got onto this side of the business, and I really brought it up, and I was like, let's just go audition. She probably won't get into business, so let's just do it for fun. And then I got into Hot Shot Kids, and then that's how it started. And I got a National Tide commercial, a Georgia Lottery, a grade 12 commercial, and a Cox Cable.
Wow, that's a lot. When did you start doing movies?
When I first came out here, that's when I started doing movies.
What have you been in?
I've been in Tomcats. That was my only movie, and this is my second movie I've done.
Any television or things like that?
I've done ER, and I was 5-year-old Ally McBeal, and Strong Medicine.
Wow.
And United Auto Workers commercial and a Stop and Shop commercial.
Every year, AFI picks 8 women out of a pool of thousands of applicants and grants them a $5,000 cash filmmaking grant, along with a camera package, including lights, sound, all that good stuff. And then from there, we go on and make a short, and Father Christmas was the result of my fellowship year.
Submitted a resume, I believe, to the project, not knowing much about it. And when I read the script, it was very touching. Marie mentioned Kodachrome memories type feel. Since I used to work at a film lab that transferred a lot of regular 8 and Super 8 home movies. And so I remember that look so well, having lived in that area as well. But just from transferring so many movies, and I know the reds, the blues, the greens, they pop so vividly in Kodachrome, we decided that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to really try to get some vivid colors, nice reds and greens, and it's Christmas time, and it all felt like that really fit for this look.
Yeah, I tried to figure out how to get it off. I was in this net 30 times.
Oh, Dakota's fabulous. Dakota is 6 years old. It's unbelievable that she can even remember a line, much less a lot of lines with feeling, with heart, with the feeling of what's being said. So yeah, that's really going to make this piece stand out as her.
Okay, we ready. We gotta go fast.
We were so lucky. There's really
Everything,
very little we lacked.
there is nothing that we wanted that we didn't get, and even more so. Like all the wardrobe is vintage,
Yes.
and that you have to go to special, costume places.
I think the best thing we have
Saying them out loud.
are our director and our 2 actors.
We all have a passion for, writing and directing. This big scene that you just did, with all these extras, how did that feel for you?
It was kind of weird because last time I was at an airport, like in this situation, I was Dakota's height, so it's weird seeing it from up here because that's what I remember when I was little, is the frustration, and I'm trying to get that across by doing a lot of Dakota's point of view, a lot of the little girl's point of view, that you can't see through the legs and you're not as tall as you want to be. It's hard being a short little person, and especially when something is important and you want to know and you don't believe whether or not, you don't know what to believe, or you're anxious to find out and you can't get the information you need visually, and I was trying to do that cinematically.
As far as Dakota goes, I don't think I could afford her if I had to cast her today, so I'm terribly glad I got to meet her when she was 6 and had just moved to town and was just gearing up for her film career. This little film is obviously not the most well-known of all of her works, but it's got a special place in my heart, and so does she.
What do you want to do? Where do you want to go from here? What are your ambitions? What would you want to do in acting?
I want to be a movie star.
Do you have any favorite movie stars now? Any actresses you admire?
I love Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz, Vivian Vance, and William Fowler.
Right.
And Britney Spears, and the Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC.
And cut. Oh, beautiful, baby. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, coming down.